Hello and welcome to Multimedia Plus online television news. I am Eustace Victor Jones. In our top stories, defense team for the first accused, Alfred Conte, appears before the High Court Judge, Honorable Momoja Stevens. Friends of Baden-Powell donates 500 face masks to Sierra Leone Scout Association. Head of Police Media speaks on violence, lawlessness and indiscipline in Sierra Leone. And also, Hill Sierra Leone donates 50 bags of rice to staff of education radio station. Now, as usual, all of these stories and more are lined up in this edition of Multimedia Plus online television news. Eustace Victor Jones is the name. And now we commence with our very first story in today's edition. Friends of Baden-Powell, a subsidiary body to the Sierra Leone Scout Association, has donated about 500 face masks to the Sierra Leone Scout Association. The facial masks are to be distributed to different communities within the capital of Freetown. This event took place at the Sierra Leone Scout Association's headquarters at New Englandville. Our reporter, Teresa Thomas, reports.
The Sierra Leone Scout Association was established in 1909. Series of generous gestures have been attempted by the association since that day. The rage of COVID-19 has kept everyone on their toes, not least the Association of Scouters in the country. 500 facial masks are donated to aid in the fight against the virus.
And as a group and also as a region, we thought it fit that we should be part of this particular fight. So the Friends of Baden-Powell Scout Group thought it fit that we should donate this face mask to see that we augment the effort of the government. That's why we've just donated 500 face masks, and we're expecting another 500 to come for 5 regions. This is timely. Recently, the government of Sierra Leone have just said that it is compulsory for everybody in this country to use face masks. And as an organization, we thought it fit that we should come in as a scout association to see that we complement the efforts of the government. That's why we donated this particular face mask so that people will come together and use this particular thing by adhering to what the government is saying to the Sierra Leoneans.
The national response to COVID-19 has been swift. Hopes are held high for a possible success against the pandemic. Many have joined hands on deck in the fight against the virus, and others are still on the verge of doing likewise. Patrick Massakoy is a commissioner of Scouts who doubles as the communication person of the association.
Few well-meaning scouts of the Sierra Leone Scouts Association thought it fit that they can also contribute in the fight against COVID-19. Therefore, they made a call that they want to make a donation of face masks in order to coincide with the enforcement of face masks. It is on that background the Western Area Rural and Friends of Baden-Powell, who are also members of this association, decided to do this donation this afternoon for us to distribute the face masks not only to members of the Sierra Leone Scout Association, but to also those who are in the fight against COVID and also community members.
The Sierra Leone Scouts Association plans on distributing these facial masks to communities within the capital of Freetown and later to the provincial areas in the country. Multimedia Plus online television, Teresa Thomas reporting.
Hill Sierra Leone, together with Education Microscope newspaper, has donated 50 bags of rice to teachers and staff of education radio station. Our reporter, Anthony Vandy, tells us more.
It's a total of 50 bags of 25 kilograms of rice. The donation was made by the education radio station and teachers of radio teaching program. The executive director of Hill Sierra Leone, Joseph Sano, said, the donation is to complement the effort of staff and teachers of the station.
I know the challenges teachers and people that are working in the radio station face during this period. Others that are outside here just listening to the content might not know what it takes to bring out those materials, what it takes for teachers to teach, what it takes for the radio staff to handle. So I thought it wise. I said, this time if I'm going to share whatever I have, And I will share it not based upon any other thing, but share it because I believe the radio teaching program that is on now is doing a very good work, and the teachers and the radio staff are doing a very good work. So because of that, I personally purchased 50 bags of rice, 25 kg of rice, and I talked to the Teaching Service Commission. I talked to the chairperson, Dr. Beckley, and she gave me her blessings. And I worked with Ezekiel, and Ezekiel told me they have 42 staff that are engaged in the radio teaching program. So after that, and I asked the station manager, we have radio, we have people, you just don't come and sit down and broadcast. You have staff that are here ensuring that the mics are well prepared, the transmitters or whatever are well prepared. You are accommodated well to ensure that the least man in Kafebula hear the teachings. So
the Education Radio is a complementary program under the Ministry of Education. It hosts a series of on-air lectures to pupils of primary, secondary, and senior secondary school across the country. The Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Brema Michael Toure, said the Hill Sierra Leone has been very instrumental to the development of the education sector in Sierra Leone.
Obviously, Sano is synonymous to education, as we all know. I mean, if it's not him organizing a trade fair somewhere, it would be him organizing students to compete on educational matters or undertake some kind of sensitization activity on education. And so he has been on this for a very long time. And so it is only proper that while we are supporting him, he is also thinking about sharing that support with other people. And I think we should continue to support him as a ministry, in my opinion, because he has been doing a phenomenal job. I mean, so if we want to continue to succeed as a ministry, I think we should partner with people who have passion for education and people who can actually deliver on the mandate of the Ministry of Education. And I'm sure that is what he has been doing throughout this time. And so it is no mistake that he's thinking of our teachers today, who have become the very important element of this radio teaching program.
As strategies against the coronavirus pandemic keep advancing, so does air teaching programs also keep increasing. The education radio has proved to be very valuable mechanism to pupils across Sierra Leone since COVID-19 entered the country in March this year. Multimedia Plus Online Television, Anthony Vandi reporting.
Please be reminded that you are viewing content from Multimedia Plus Online Television News with me, Eustace Victor Jones here. We are continuing with more stories. Various rights groups have condemned what is believed to be signs of unrest in some parts of the country. The negativities that are attached to lawlessness and indiscipline are becoming ever clearer by the day. The Sierra Leone Police is charged with the sacred responsibility of maintaining peace, order and obedience in the country. But what has the force been doing in this regard, owing to previous skirmishes in the country? My colleague Sheku Putka Kamara has been speaking to the head of Police Media Superintendent Brahma Kamara in this interview.
I have one or two problems here and there, like the one we had in Fegedugu, the one we had in Lusar, coming down to Freetown, Panema Road, Saga, and then Tombo. I wouldn't say they are isolated. They are very serious security matters. But the fact remains, if you look at the whole country, a population of 7.2 million, and if you look at the length and breadth of Sierra Leone, it's 27,925 square miles. So if we are having issues in 1 or 2 areas, or 3 areas, or 4 areas, we cannot conclusively say Sierra Leone is not peaceful. But honestly, relatively, in security terms, Sierra Leone is peaceful. We are privy to a number of information, a lot of information, and then I can assure you that Sierra Leone is relatively peaceful in terms of external aggression, and even within, even though we have 1 or 2 issues there, but within, from what we have at hand, Sierra Leone is peaceful. Well, we have our own part to play when it comes to coronavirus. We cannot detach that one from our functions. If you look at what we have under the Police Act of 1964, we have the responsibility to enforce laws. And Section 29 of Act number 6 of 1991, that is specifically referring to the Constitution. The government had to invoke what we call a state of emergency, state of public health emergency. And that one came about Section 29, subsection 2E and F. And then if you go further, you can see that Section 29, subsection 5 of that same act, there is provision for regulations to be generated. It could be by the president himself, it could be by an authority designated with that kind of power to do it, like what the EOC are doing. So when those measures are put out, when those regulations come out, it becomes the responsibility of the police to enforce those ones. So this is why you see the inter-district lockdown. We have a number of checkpoints coming up. Initially, we are not having checkpoints in certain areas, but now if you go there, you can see that we have checkpoints there because we have to regulate the movement of people. It has been made clear that people should not move from one district to another district. And so if the police is not there, who do you think is going to enforce that one? So we are more concerned about the enforcement of the measures coming from the EOC or coming from the presidency himself, or maybe those that could have been generated by the Attorney General's office, taken to Parliament, and then they are put into effect. And then we now have the responsibility to ensure that people comply with them. So that's basically our job.
Still on Multimedia Plus online television with me, Eustace Victor Jones. We are going for a short break. Stay glued.
The package you forget. Even the haters testify, called the man when I was amateur. Couldn't holler them. My team is vicious, see, but the Taliban. The game don't see.
The boy Caldanero, man. Live and direct, man, within our studio, man. You know what I mean? Kiss the Throne EP coming. I just currently want to freestyle. Now, this very good studio. The setup is good. Emanize and Django. Shout out to Una. Proud of what Una they do. You know, we need more of this in the industry.
Hey, this is Emerson, the last man standing. Of course, we're right here at Multimedia Plus. And we had a great session, and come check it out. It's a great studio, you know, great sounds, great producer, and support your own saloon content. Sugar Entertainment at Multimedia Plus. Peace. Voiceover we single and soundtrack we documentary podcast we
Welcome back. You're still viewing content from Multimedia Plus online television with me, Eustace Victor Jones. We are continuing with more stories. Defense team for the first accused, Alfred Conte, has once again appeared before the High Court judge, Honorable Momoja Stevens. The matter between the state versus Alfred Conte is one that has attracted huge public attention. From the Law Court building in central Freetown, Fatmata Binta Jallo reports.
On Friday, 29th May 2020, before Honorable Momoja Stevens at the High Court of Sierra Leone, one of the defense counsel, Joseph Fitzgerald Camara, made an application for a visitation to be made at State House, so that the jurors and the entire court will have a better knowledge on the system at State House. He further mentioned that if the visitation is made, then the entire court will understand about the position of the scanner and the metal detector. He implored the bench to grant the access for justice to be served. Honorable Momoja Stevens accepted his application that a visit should be made at the alleged scene of the case. A walk-in day should be given, as the day of the scene was also a walk-in day, he said. Prosecution witness 3, Nathaniel Williams, who is an exhibit clerk at the Crime Writers Office, CID, was presented before the court to give his testimony. He said that one of his duties is to receive and keep all exhibits relating to cases reported and investigated at the CID. He said on the 24th March 2020 at the CID headquarters, whilst on duty, Detective Police Constable number 15105 CCA handed over to him the following exhibits. 1. Glock 17 pistol with serial number PFEF 240. And its magazine containing 10 rounds ammunition. It was handed over to him in a brown bag. 2. Glock 21 pistol with serial number NUX 841 Ostra Plus with 2 empty magazines in a black case. 3. 1 damaged red lock. 4. 1 firearms license bearing the name of Alfred Conte. Date issued 3rd March 2020 and expiring date is on 2nd March 2021. Prosecution witness 3 Nathaniel Williams said that he took possession of all the exhibits and registered them against serial number 38/2020. Since then, the exhibits have been in police custody. However, a bone of contention arose in the courtroom between the prosecution team and defense team. This is because the first exhibit that was shown to the defense team, that was said by the PW3 Nathaniel Williams to be a Glock 17 pistol with the serial number PFEF 240, was not correct. The pistol that was shown before the court was with the serial number 234. Honorable Momoja Stevens said that the evidence cannot be tendered since the foundation is not the same as the exhibit. A stand down was given by Honorable Momoja Stevens for the prosecuting team to rectify the problem before the Honorable Court. The evidence was then shown to the court as rectified. Prosecution witness 3 testified to all the items that he recorded and they were shown to the court. Another witness was also presented before the court, Dauda Yemi, who is a military personnel. He is a staff sergeant at State Lodge and State House. He said that on the 20th day of March 2020, he was attached at his reception State House. He was not alone at his post, but he was with his colleagues. PC Baki, who is a scanner operator, Sergeant Posua, who was helping him with the visitors list. Dauda Yemi said that they were informed about a meeting. Some minutes after 9 a.m., he saw the first accused while scanning was going on, but he didn't went through the scanner or metal detector. He was about climbing the stairs when he was called by the operator for his bag to be scanned. Yemi said he was expecting the first accused to comply by sending his bag to be scanned, but he didn't, because he was showing some amount of urgency. The first accused walked to his table and lifted up his bag, saying that his pistol was in his bag. So the first accused gave his bag to Yemi, saying that he was to have a meeting with the president. Yemi gave the bag to the scanner operator and the pistol was discovered. He reported the matter to the presidential guards together with the chief security officer. Lawyer Ade Macaulay cross-examined the witness based on the statement he made at the CID. The information that he made about the sergeant's Gaima standing the staircase was mentioned in today's proceeding, but was not mentioned on the statement made at the CID. The court was furnished with the statement made by the witness at CID. The case was then adjourned to Monday, 1st of June 2020. For Multimedia Plus Online TV, Fatmata Binta Jallo reporting.
As we continue to take precautions to prevent and curtail the spread of the novel coronavirus, let us now take some health advice on preventive ways of keeping ourselves quite safe.
There is a global outbreak of a new coronavirus disease that is rapidly spreading to a number of countries around the world. Common signs and symptoms include cough, fever, shortness of breath, and difficulty in breathing. In severe cases, complications include pneumonia, and kidney failure may occur and possibly leads to death if left untreated. Everyone is at risk of getting this disease. The virus is spread through droplets produced during coughing or sneezing by a sick person. You can get the disease if you are in close contact with a person who has the disease or infected animals and animal products. Travel to areas affected by the outbreak is a risk to getting infected. To protect yourself and others, wash your hands frequently with soap and water or use alcohol-based hand rubs. Cook your meat products and eggs thoroughly. If you are infected, prevent spreading the disease by covering your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing with flexed elbow or tissue, and wash your hands immediately after. If you suspect that you or a member of your family or anybody has the coronavirus, you should immediately seek medical care at the nearest health facility. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, and the ZNPHI with support from partners.
I'm afraid that's all we have time for in today's news broadcast here on Multimedia Plus online television news with me, Eustace Victor Jones. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. Defense team for the first accused, Alfred Conte, appears before the High Court Judge, Honorable Momoja Stevens. Friends of Baden-Powell donates 500 face masks to Sierra Leone Scout Association. Head of Police Media speaks on violence, lawlessness and indiscipline in Sierra Leone. And also, Hill Sierra Leone donates 50 bags of rice to staff of Education radio station. Well, that's how we'll wrap up today's edition of our news broadcast. Thank you very much indeed for sharing your time with us. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Multimedia Plus online television for more updates, news broadcasts, programs and interviews. We are also on Facebook. Search for Multimedia Plus. Please visit, like and share our page on YouTube. Until we meet next, I have been Eustace Victor Jones. Stay blessed, stay safe.